Beat the boss. And am I live? I'm live. Usually I'm supposed to. I'm trying to figure. This time I'm live without me clicking live. Okay. Yes. Guess we're starting. So just for a um just for quick preview, since now you guys can see me. Give me 1 second. Let me adjust this correct. We'll put it a little bit down because I'm gonna slouch. So also the daylight's slowly leaving, so I will periodically change this my lighting, because right now it's like blasting my face. um oh yeah, big difference. Okay, so today I'm just going to be going over in a short stream how to create some assets for videos that I do for another channel called Reach. um and we're gonna start here with this little list. um for why it's doing this. Here you go. um So what you see here is all the assets that are done and all the assets that I still have to do. And the way that I do these videos is by first figuring out, okay, well let's okay, so let's make them into screens, and then after we're done with all the screens, um
Hello YouTube. So in this video I want to talk about how I saved over.
hopefully you can't see. Check, give me seconds. You actually cannot. Good, good, good. um we're going to go to, it looks something like this. These are the final frames, and in After Effects we're going to take all these assets and then um animate them, if that makes sense to you guys. So give me one moment. I will um let me just respond to someone real quick. All right, so we're back here. uh and so this is kind of like how they look at the end, right? And then in After Effects we animate them. So we're gonna start with a blank one, and we will go in. Give me 1 second. I don't want to be mean to my neighbors, but talking too much right now. They're singing a little too loud. So we're gonna start again here. So first thing on the list is how to save 100K in 2 years. Now this one we can animate, but we don't have to. And the reason why I say we don't have to is because that's just a text file that I'm gonna make like in After Effects. What you will do is you'll go like this, right? Let me make this black just to make it easy to kind of show what I'm. So we go to text and we're just gonna write how to pay 100K in 2 years, right? And from here we get this. We do a white fill. We're gonna go to like one that we use, uh grotesque, I believe, and it is. This will go to like 120. And from here, this the right size. So this thing we go and we align. I it's gonna look something like this, right? And it does seem off. I'm trying to figure it off. So I guess this is standard. It does look like it's a little left centered, but this is all I would do in After Effects, so there's no point in me doing. So we're gonna take these things off and go in. Next, we'll go into no money. Now, I will go look to the assets I've already created and see if I have something that already has a no money kind of thing, right? So you have to also think like you don't have to write something like no money, something like I have here, money bag, and then in After Effects I'll just do like a little X on it, right? So I already have this one. We don't need that. What we can do is actually here, um, which might help us out a little bit. You can see how things are. Is going to do adjustments. This, and we could do this in After Effects. Wanted to. So the difference in After Effects versus Illustrator that I've been trying to use more is that in Illustrator we could do this. We import this into After Effects and it gets these things and kind of does it for you. So we're only really creating this once instead of doing copies. The bad thing is, well, we will do later on in After Effects is if we have too many assets here that we don't want to animate all at the same time or in the same way, we will separate it, and that might cause us to have a little bit more work to do. But this is the first time I'm doing it in this what do you call it, in this sort of category or this sort of um process. So we'll see if it sounds good or if it looks good. So next, no money. So again, then get like 10 or maybe even the ellipses. Sorry about my dog. Not even my dog, it's my neighbor's dog. Like this, you increase the this. So the way that I did it is I went the ellipse tool, which we press L. So like right now, I am in the move tool, right? But if we press L, it takes us into this tool, right? We hold shift for it so we can draw a perfect circle. And we can hold shift and alt so wherever we click on first becomes the center point. So in case we wanted to do something like, oh, we wanted to start from here, hold it and see, perfectly right. So then we go back into the move tool, we select it. Also add a little it. And we get this, and then we press escape. So the way that I did this little cross is I went, instead of the L for the like shape tool, we go for P so we can get the pen tool out. See, and then this we can make whatever shape we want. Connected, right? But we don't want that, so let's take this off. And this looks a little weird because usually, again, in Illustrator, we don't want we don't really want anything excessive. And now, as you can see, they act as when. So I want to move path. Thing moves out, right? The other thing is just the style that we use to make this. It will look a little but if you think about like how it's going to animate, you can think about it like we're going to be talking about something, and they're gonna say no money. Bam, this gets animated. So this is what we have so far. It says that he was raised with no money, a low income city, and so we're gonna be thinking low income city in SoCal. One of the things, draw a little city. Now we don't want to draw the city here. We want to do create a new document. The limits are going to be as big as the video that we can create, and then from here we will create a new city. So the reason why we do this is we might use city for this asset of a city again in the future, and so we don't want it to accidentally only use it here, then we have to go search for it, right? So we want to make this thing. I'm going to change the color to pink, and then the somewhere around. And then what I like to do, I like to round the edges so it doesn't look as strong. So again, this is how it looks normally. You also have the miter cut, and then we have the round one, and I just like this one because it's more friendly. And what I'm doing now is same pen tool, right, with P, create more skyscraper. What I'm might look weak because it kind of did like this weird cut. That just means the fill or the part inside is they're still filling in the inside, which we don't want. So right here, I don't know if it, so yeah, right here, I have no idea where my mouse went, but right here there's this little square of pink and white on the left side. Just click on it. We make sure that we're selecting which is like the fill layer. This is the layer. We're gonna click the fill, and then we're gonna click this thing that says none, or we can just hash. So now there's no fill, right? And so now it's starting to look a little bit like skyscraper. Things down, hover over them, and like click and hover over them. It'll select both at the same time. Then hold the Alt key, click one of them and drag it, and you'll be able to not only click and drag them, but it creates a copy of it. The other thing I want to do, I want to reflect. right? Is and maybe what we can also do is make shorter, right? Maybe even make them kind of thin, like right now that it's being overlapped. The thing that I would want to do is maybe get one of the uh legs, go back to my pen tool, hold down control and click on this anchor point, and now it's only selecting this. So holding still the control, and so now it's starting to look more like a normal skyscraper. Maybe we want something, and by holding shift you get these perfect lines. Maybe we just want one more around here. Press escape, we click back on this one, and this one maybe we want front of this one but in the back of this one. Now that this is done, again we're holding down control, and we could remove this one, right? But how do you remove it? You actually let go of control and you will see a little like a slash. So what you can also do is hold down control, click on that one anchor point, and click backspace, and it should delete. Again, click on, hold down shift so it could stay straight. If you're not holding down shift, you could end up with something like this. And so when we hold shift, it immediately goes back to, like, snaps back to where it go. So this is what I want to call um a little city, right? And now we're going to create some windows. Go back to the rectangular, is it's gonna be under the same like circle, which is L. If let's say that I have the circle tool, the it's not L, it's M. My bad. So let's say that you have the circle tool. I believe pressing the M gives you the right one. We hold shift for it to be perfect squares if you want squares. It's actually a little too big for me, my liking. So on a little. You could also go in properties panel, make them the perfect size that we need it by, and there you go. I'm kind of liking that. Again, hold down, click on it, down the alt, and you can also do the same trick and by holding down shift to get, and get all of these. But actually first click and hover over both, group them by right clicking, and then there should be an option called group, highlighting over both and going to your align and horizontal alignment, and these are now aligned. Get this, putting windows. Okay, and now we'll get rid of this right now by first on these ungroup, right clicking, and then ungroup like this. And Illustrator helps you by giving you a little guide of how much you've gone. So it gives you like the right spacing always. I like to zoom in and out just to make it a little bit easier for me to kind of see where we're at. So these look fine. Now answer way because I don't is highlighting these four, finding a place where you can copy them. Now this was too high, and because this is more of a cartoonish animation and not necessarily a like super realistic, not worry too much about like how the door or where doors fit or stuff like that. So it's a lot easier. You can do is group quick. Also click on the building, lining them. Oh, perfectly aligned. I can. Now this one wouldn't be here, so we're gonna give you like a lot of guides. And what I don't like is that although it's very helpful for most of the things, not very helpful when already too many. Let's keep doing. Actually, use brain discovery. Bam. Now we just need a few. Now this building is gonna look a little fine. Somewhere around here. Now these look kind of weird, so we will make it like not do that. First space them out correct. Not necessarily that the placement is wrong, that the stroke might be a little. Just by reducing it to about 15, they're starting to get better. Then the stroke, then everything. What if we do this? Starting to look a little nicer. We are going to this one. Going to be using the 6. And all this is subjective. You know, if you're crafting your own style, you could do whatever you want. I'm really just doing this because um one, these are like assets that I will be reusing. So I kind of don't want to do it again. I'm pretty lazy. So I started learning like some tricks. So like let's say that this is the city, right? But we don't want this. There are two ways to do it. You can go on your tool and on the corner you don't want, delete it, but it might end up like this. So then back here, maybe now these look a little awkward. So one good and easy way is to just snudge them, because in the overall product like this you can't really tell the gap. In fact, these I kind of want them to like they're more um distant from this border. So I want to make sure that they're not like together, or else that part becomes a point of conflict. Like a little design thing that I picked up. I don't have any background on this. I just do. I feel. Again, this one bad, or match it in. Fine. Now that everything's like this is done, what I like to do like group them all, just so if I ever want to move this around, right? They all move at the same time, as opposed to me having to do it, right? And again, grouping is by clicking and hovering over, so you can make a select. Then right clicking and doing and this might be very big. So what I like to do for this channel is I try to make it as big as possible to have the maximum resolution of it. Now I'm seeing, move them a little further away. In fact, I could now a little bit thicker. And when everything like this is done, what I do is I click Shift O, I mean, so I can get the artboard tool out, and then I click enter. So you'll know when the tool's out when it starts showing you right here 01 artboard. 01 artboard on the upper right, upper left. Enter, and then it should say which preset do I want. What you want to put for this is it should be the same size as your artboard, as your products right here. Fit to artwork bounds. Click on it and then you put OK. It sizes it perfectly for you. Now that way you're not importing all 1920 by 1080 pixels, and it gives you this, right? Now we can click save. Here we'll just save it to like inner city, what I'm gonna call it. So next time I want to use this, I just look for inner city. So for example, now that everything, and I just copy, paste, and it should be around the same scale it the way I kind of want. Because they're buildings, we don't need to keep their proportions the same, right? For example, I could make them a little taller, whatever I want, right? For human faces and stuff like that, I usually like to keep them the same. And in Illustrator, you can see right here that the strokes kind of they don't change, whereas in After Effects they will. So what I do then, I just lower right here settings. Now they're at 15. They look perfect. In fact, I don't think. Oh, so this is gonna say I was born with no money. Low income city in SoCal. So maybe what we're going to be doing is the no money part going to be in the middle, going to swoop up, and then it's gonna come out with this inner city and SoCal. So then I'll draw like California and maybe not here. That's what we're going to be doing. Again, we're gonna look if we have California here, and we don't. So I will be showing you how to create that from an Illustrator, like a map of California. So we got this, and yeah, so now we're going to just go back into our artboard tool, which is again Shift and O in a rough sketch, and on the side to give you the chance to give you the perfect dimension. Here we'll make the next version, and again we're gonna go to new 1920 by 1080. Yes, we saved the stuff city, and then we are going to Chrome, and we will go in and look for apps. Just take any because they're all pretty much. Go here, we paste, size it to the part that we want, and then from here you can see, okay, how much detail do we really want? Save it as frames, reference frames, reference reference game. Okay. So these frames again are gonna help us create the look that we want, and this is going to be creating an asset which will end. So what I like to do is, if there's like a complicated shape like this, I like to start at the parts and then do this, so that way if I mess up like at the very end, I'm not doing stuff. I use the pen tool and I go over this, and as you can see, it's getting whited out. Now you do that, and then like show you like the back, right? And there's two ways. So if you want to do a curve, you hold down, and then by moving your mouse, you get like the right curve, and you can do something. Right, holding it down creates, and we can do something like this. Okay? But for our look, we don't like this. It looks uh realistic. Our look right now currently make it look more like a cutout, so we might be, because it all depends on the aesthetic that you're going. And I'm not gonna forget about the Bay Area right here. I also giving it much attention. Or San Francisco, you're leaving for the purpose, find that there's a gap. Because let's say that you want to do it like this, right? That just looks kind of weird. So we want to make sure that it looks like there's intent behind it. So there's intention as opposed to like just copying it. I want to be doing that kind of stuff. By that kind of stuff, I mean skipping over certain details and the overall look. Los Angeles, it doesn't need, sorry, like County. Orange County does kind of have like this, but it should just be enough. So non-natives, or just so it looks more familiar to people, it should still that same identity of California. Right? So if we go into here and we delete it, looks like California. There's actually very much, if anything, I could even reduce, but I won't do that right now. Instead, I will do this for signature. Now we could come for California and then add something like putting something star here if we want to show where it is, but I feel like we can do that in After Effects. This again, we do Shift and O, bring up this, but first I want to size it to the right size first, 9 to 1080 as possible. And the reason I do this, so we can have the best quality. Illustrator does vectors. The bad thing about into After Effects is sometimes it doesn't do vectors, sometimes it's as a bitmap or a PNG or JPEG, whatever you want to call it. But for the most part, it does a really good job at just creating shapes. So that shouldn't affect you too much. Then we do Shift O back here to the settings. When we click enter after the Shift O, we just click enter immediately. It pops up this thing called artboard options. Then on preset, we go to fit to artwork bounds. Click OK. Bam. Save this. Save as. make sure that we put it on the as for me, California. Now, the reason why I'm doing this right now is I'm just trying to see like what things we really need animate. 20 low off. Now we're back here. Single mom. How do we, oh, the way that would help me out? So these are going to be our reference frames still. Now I'm thinking maybe we could put California here. But again, we're gonna go back. We're going to open. We have something called woman or mom. Don't. We have person, but this person's more like a man. Maybe I should rename this. Making a. I'm gonna go stare. Cancel me. What I want to do. Girl. That I. Here the fill we will do our pink, and we just on by first circle angle tool. Okay, this is one way. Cooler way to do this, now that I thought about it, not being an idiot, going to the person, opening this, and doing and you'll see why this looks kind of weird. Now he looks like Darth Vader. And then from here we're gonna do divided. Now it looks exactly like Darth Vader. Click on the circle, and this becomes a little more advanced. Definitely don't. But you can get this ahead by selecting object and offset. The thing that I don't like is I always gotta look offset path. I just seem to be about 10 pixels. Fine. Now we have and this one. Now we can click and make a selection of all, and then do Shift M. Gives us our most valuable tool, called the Shape Builder tool. And what this does is it creates a new shape from all their intersections. So every intersection and every subset of these is a new shape. So you might be wondering, why is this good? By holding down Alt, actually by not holding down anything, click on one and dragging over, kind of like penciling over, you create this new shape out of them. But you can also hold it down and I mean not hold it down, hold down Alt on the parts you want, right? Because it, again, it's just section. And let's try it out. Get the velocity. And this ahead, centering them. Now that they're centered, now we could try for the offset path. Again, it's an option path offset. And it's fine. Here's in this that good. It looks more bright. Again, add certain things and maybe need to have hair. I mean, yeah, not hair, just the shape of the head. So sometimes you take an L like that. Sometimes you don't need that. Kind of like a man characters. Now it's a on. Here. See how I found this. Get this. Might happen from the folder that you might not want. Very helpful. Up, but here we go. That's why it was getting a bit of a hard time, as there was We're just moving these actions. And if this comes out, what might happen is when you create shapes in After Effects, they might create two shapes, like three shapes. I mean, the body and then the chest. You don't want that. You might want it, but for me, I don't think I want this. I tool thing that I hated right now, and now it's all just again. Go to the artboard, press enter. The artboard options window will pop up. On your preset, you fit to artwork bounds. We'll call. And so, especially for this one, I feel like this is a pretty good place to stop in terms of um what of how to create these assets. Maybe I'll do one more, which will be a lot harder. And then I'll show you kind of most of the tools that we can come up with that one, right? Now that these two are done, I'm going to go our list. Oh, did I close? I'm an idiot. All right, we're back. Come on. Public school is kind of easy. I think we already have one that's house, bank account, Porsche is a good one. If I remember correctly, they said that they want the Cayman. We're gonna do the same thing as always. Act it. So create. We will, and then we'll do. I want to save it just right now. Just we're gonna start Porsche. Porsche Cayman. Right now, I'm literally just Google, and I can show. I'm gonna look for one that has an angle, so we could do something like this, but because of our flat, almost like paper cutout, we'd want something like this actually, and this is the perfect size, 1920 by 1080. Paste it. Okay, pretty good. Now we're back in Illustrator. Might look good. You know, it's all up to you on how you want to trace these. There is one way to do select image. I'm trying to remember exactly where the last time I tried to do an image tree far away that I don't remember exactly where it is. Gotta find it first. Shape, here it is. I think it's oh, here, image trace. Make, right? So we go on options and we click on the menu. There's gonna be object. We go down to image trace and we're gonna, and here is final image, right? That's kind of cool, but let's object trace, make band, and it should be giving us So one color, something like this, right? Now this looks, but it's not again it's not what we're looking for. We're style. The way we get our style by actually, even though it's image tree, wanted have our signature style of gloss detail. Not be again, like sometimes we want it to look straight, some like if you do want it to be a little bit more realistic, just on these little curves. I think it'll resolve itself right now. Do we purple thing? And we're just tracing it. It actually helps. Want when we're making circular objects, want them to be as close to semicircle. So about it that way, we when we're making circles or circular objects, we do like one, and then right here when it's gonna swing in direction, then we create the next possible is if let's say that you're doing the pen and it stops working, you go back in the pen by clicking, then you click on the last point left off, and see now it starts tracing it. And if you see sometimes like right here, it gives us this curve that we don't want. Don't worry about it too much. We're gonna click, we're gonna go back to this and holding down alt will give us like a more like a triangular pizza looking. And give me 1 second. Yeah, okay. Then that lets us edit our anchor tool, our anchor point, my bad. But it is a sports car, so we wanted to aerodynamic. And and here, see how it does this weird thing again. We hold down the alt. Now we can change the point. It lets us connect the way we want. This part I left for the end because it is one of the more difficult ones. Again, we want to put it right on when the slope equals 0, or around here. If I don't get it the right way I want it to, remember we can better. Bam. We have the outline of the Porsche, right? I don't want to really change this, like the pattern of the wheel. I don't want to like just straight up rip it off and give it generic tires. By generic I mean copy of it. We'll align them on only one of them. Scale it. I want to give it thin wheels. Then we select both, and we do the shape builder tool. Shift M, which gives us this like little plus sign on our little. Then we hold Alt to make it a minus. Bam. See, it's a shape. Now we click on it, we hold Alt, and then we can make a copy of it. Just line it up. Bam, the wheels are done. Now, for most sports cars, this shape right here, they're not going to be perfectly symmetrical. So what we want to do, down a little bit. Go. Now, I want for the opacity, because I want to add some detail. I'm going to be adding lights right where the slope is, whether it be in a full circle, you'll have 4 anchor points, or in a circle option, you have 4. Because think of the slope as the x when y equals top, and when x equals 0 or infinite, the other half, then back here. We did this one. I also want perfect dimension. You'll have a little cutout effect. And maybe I want to add this little window or like or ink. Also need this. Actually, no. We're gonna see right now just why I'm not choosing the window here. If let's say that you can find the right place with this, then you're probably wrong about where that's here. Let's say you know you chose the right place. It becomes easier to outline in this pen tool. And right here. Now click back on the original copy of it, right? We're gonna find the parts that we will then use the shape builder tool. We will be holding down Alt, bam. Now this, the image in the back, right? Now you think kind of awkward still, so I believe it's still although this is, like I said, although this wanted more stylish, if this to be stylish is possibly go to Shift M. Again, it's a little bit more exaggerated, but like this now it's starting to look okay. Now this part right here does look bad. So part time this I'm gonna actually move down so we could have more of a gap and possibly again not in the perfect place. Now it's starting to look like a Porsche. Last thing, front window heat. Five. So we created the stroke, but we're going to go to option, band. We're gonna expand it with a fill. Create an actual rectangle instead of just a stroke. You might be wondering why did we do that when it looks the exact same. That way, when we go into the builder tool, now it's part of it. Your port onto these. We select all of them. Away. Boundaries as you can remember. Boundaries. We actually got made a little bit too big, but shift 0 circle shift O, bring back the same artboard tool. We go on fit to artboard bounds on this window that comes out called artboard options. Go to preset, fit to artboard bounds. Okay, and save this as Porsche. And this concludes a stream of how to make shapes. I know it did take a little while, and by a little while I mean this isn't necessarily what everyone's hoping for, but this is the process of making animation. So for this video, these are the new things I have to make, but some of them might already be done. So I go through, I check which ones need to be done and which ones need to be made,